This episode of the Fantasy Underdogs podcast is brought to you by the Believe Podcast Network and BetOnline.ag. We're back and better than ever. A new web interface for the start of the basketball season and more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all the basketball and football action this season. Head to the new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your bonus. From basketball, football, baseball, postseason, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games, don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. And now, another episode of the Fantasy Underdogs podcast. Yeah!
And welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Fantasy Underdogs podcast, brought to you by the Believe Podcast Network and BetOnline.ag. Make sure you put in your code in today, Believe50, for your 50% off first welcome bonus. Ladies, how's it going today? Happy Sunday to you. Happy week 9. How's it going?
It's going good. I don't really have that much to add to that.
That's it? That's all you got this morning?
Good.
Jordan?
It's good. We're rolling.
Okay. What an intro for the Bet Online promo today. That was fantastic.
Iconic.
Thank you. I every week it's going to be something brand new, so our next show will probably be something different. So.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's all good. Well, welcome everybody. It's another episode. We are coming into week 9 of the NFL season. It's been an interesting
It's going
week.
so fast.
It is. We're more than halfway through the season. So much drama was this past week with Aaron Rodgers, COVID, Henry Ruggs, and the Raiders. I feel the Raiders have just been in a spiral of bad news after bad news after bad news. And the Raiders are in first place, which, it's just a kind of a weird time in Las Vegas where, maybe they shouldn't have put an NFL team as Las Vegas, but oh well. Before we get into our pick'ems, I did want to really kind of ask both of you about Aaron Rodgers and his COVID vaccination, where he went on the Pat McAfee show this past Tuesday, which he always does, and had a very good interview with Pat. It was probably one of the most in-depth interviews I've seen Aaron Rodgers do on Pat's show. And he was like, look, I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm not a flat earther. I'm not any of these things. I'm doing what's best for my body. And that is that. If you don't like it, then screw you. I'm going to put the middle finger to you guys. So I wanted to get your opinion about his comments. Do you agree, disagree? Are you kind of in the middle of what he thinks about what the league is doing with players and vaccinations? Do you think it's more of kind of like a witch hunt? Do you agree with those comments? So yeah, let's go into that first before we go into Pickems this week.
Yeah, I think it's tough. I think what upset people the most was when he was initially asked if he was vaccinated and he said, yes, I'm immunized, which looking back now we can make like the argument like he never said he was vaccinated, but the way he worded it, I can understand why everyone was confused. But at the same time, like, this is Aaron Rodgers. The man cut off his whole family. Like, he's the guy that just kind of beats to the sound of his own drum and he does whatever he wants to do. So I think if he just worded it a little more clearer in that initial press conference, because I think people got the impression that he was vaccinated and then this came out and he wasn't. So I think it's more the confusion, and that's why everyone is so upset. Like, because DeAndre Hopkins came out early in the season. He's like, My sister and her husband both got vaccinated. He started having major heart problems. It made me not want to get it. Like, in those situations, I think it's valid. So I think if Aaron Rodgers just made the argument and was like, listen, I think this is what's best for me health wise, blah, blah, blah. I literally think it was the confusion of everyone thought he was vaccinated and then it turns out he wasn't. And that's why there's so much drama now. But like I said, this is Aaron Rodgers. The man is going to do whatever he wants to do and he's not going to care what anybody else says. So I think everyone just has to stop with all the drama for right now.
I think Aaron loves the drama. I think that's
he loves to stir the pot.
He really does. The only thing that I have with this whole situation, if you don't want to get vaccinated at this point in time, like, you can't ever change people's minds. Like, if they don't want to get the vaccine, it's really hard to convince them to do so. So, yeah, if you're not going to get it, then it's your life. But the whole thing is that he was not following the protocols that they were put in place for people who have not been vaccinated. And I think that is the biggest problem, is that he's going out to Halloween parties without a mask on. He is walking around the facility without a mask on, so on and so forth. So I think that is part of like the biggest problem. I know there's like an investigation now trying to find out whether the Packers knew or not. And like, it's really like, if he didn't want to get vaccinated, that's one thing. And saying that you were immunized is a whole other thing. Like, whatever, live your life, man. I just think that the problem is stemming from the fact that they're like, okay, whether he lied to them or they were giving him special treatment. So that is where I'm like very much like on both sides of things.
Do either of you think this was kind of a selfish move on his point when it came to this sort of situation? Because now we looking at it now, I mean, we're more than halfway through the season. Why hasn't this come out sooner? You know, I love it how when we go through the NFL season, all these stories start to pop up in like weird times of the year. Like, we have all the like Aaron Rodgers and this now COVID thing in the middle of the year. We have all these offseason storylines that come through, like the Washington, like John Gruden's thing, like a couple weeks ago. It's like the weird time when these things break. So when it comes to Aaron Rodgers and you know, the vaccination of how he did it, when he did it, if he did it at all, you know, can you look at it as he was being selfish? Because now he's out for, 10 days. He's out this week. Jordan Love's going to be starting in his place, this week. Do you think he was selfish on his point doing this?
Maybe a little bit.
I think you can make the argument a little bit, but then I think you have to go as far as saying that everyone that hasn't got the vaccine is also being selfish, which you can make that argument. Absolutely. Because now you're at the point, especially with we haven't seen it yet, but the NFL, if you have to forfeit games, like that whole new rule, you're kind of putting everybody at risk. Like I said, I think it was more the fact that he led people on to thinking he was, and then ended like, I hate to DeAndre Hopkins. I just think he was the prime example of someone who handled it appropriately, of like him explaining a very valid reason of why he doesn't want to get it and being very open about it. And then you have Aaron Rodgers, who was kind of secretive and hiding it and kind of playing games with everybody. So I think that's what's making it selfish, because it's like, all right, we kind of all believed one thing when really it was something else. And that's what's hard right now.
Tell you one thing, every time he goes on Pat's show, Pat's like, what is he going to give me this week?
I know.
And that's like,
he loves Pat McAfee.
That's like the best relationship.
It's a bromance. And it's a bromance with those two. And every single week, it's like, man, it was a 45-minute interview, and it was just Aaron Rodgers just chilling in his beanie at his house going, look, this woke culture that's coming after me if I don't do this and I don't do that. It's like, I'm going to do what I want, and that's that. If you don't like it, then that's tough nuggies. So, okay. Yeah. All right, so let's start with our week 9 Pickems. We got our first matchup is the Browns versus the Bengals, both coming off really bad losses last week. The saga is over with the drama with OBJ in Cleveland. He is no longer there. It was an interesting thing with this whole OBJ and the Browns this past week. A lot of people were blaming Baker Mayfield for this thing that was going on. I don't think you can blame Baker at all. Odell's dad was coming out with all these social media posts about, my son was wide open. And when your daddy has to go on Instagram and show you film, I mean, come on, bro. Come on. So let's have our predictions for the Browns versus Bengals today. Who do we got?
I am going to go with the Browns here because of the fact that with Odell not there any longer, I feel like they're like, okay, now we know our offense. Now we know who we can target and, what our gameplay is going to be, and not have to worry about whether Odell wants the ball or not. But I think that the Browns are coming off a bad division loss against the Steelers, going up another division game with the Bengals. They can't afford to lose this game. They are going to probably be out of the playoff race if they lose this game. So this is a must win. I know the Bengals are coming off of a pretty horrible loss against the Jets, but I think the Browns are going to come out, be super just like, all right, we're ready. We know our offense now. We know where we lie, and just go into it. So I'm going with the Browns here.
Jordan, which Bengals team are we going to get this week? Because they lost
yeah.
against the Jets last week. Which team are we going to get this week?
I think the Bengals are going to come back and they're going to look like the Bengals we saw in the last couple of weeks prior to the Jets game. And I think that loss, the way it kind of felt to me was they didn't think it was going to, like, they thought it was going to be an easy game for them. And then when the Jets kind of started coming back, they didn't know how to slow them down. And the Jets just got the upper hand there. But in regards to the situation in Cleveland, I understand that in New York, Odell Beckham was this huge drama queen. He was starting issues. He was kind of the big baby. I didn't get those vibes in Cleveland. And there's a lot of things I saw that Baker Mayfield was kind of always brushing him off and kind of just like, I never really saw Odell being the problem there. And I'm not saying that maybe this wasn't the best case for the Browns because I don't think they would have done it, but I don't think all of the blame was on Odell. I think there's some issues with Baker there. And we know I'm not the biggest Baker fan, so maybe I'm a little biased, but I have seen a lot that kind of shows that their relationship from Baker's end wasn't that great. So I don't know. I'm hoping the Bengals can get a win today and kind of bounce back a little bit because I think they deserve it more than the Browns right now. But I think this is going to be a really good game.
I think I just have to say really quick, as someone on the other side of things who loves Baker Mayfield and will play the devil's advocate on the other side of this argument, I saw a very good clip by Emmanuel Acho who said that Kevin Stefanski, when he was offensive coordinator for the Vikings, the ball was spread out. It didn't matter if Stephon Diggs was the main wide receiver on this team. He got limited reps and like it went to him, it went to Thielen, like it got spread across. So I think when he came into Cleveland, it got spread across between Odell and Landry and the tight ends. So I think that people can blame Baker. I mean, that's fair. He's the quarterback and he's choosing who to throw the ball to, but also the Browns started winning when they started spreading the ball around.
Yeah.
So I would say Stefanski is someone, if you want to put blame on somebody, you could put it on the coach.
I love how the talking heads like to blame Baker because it's not really his fault. You look at it this way. Odell's 29 years old. He was hurt. He's been hurt the past 2 seasons. He hasn't played a full season in a very long time. And, obviously when he came to Cleveland, he thought he was going to have a fresh start with his team, which, it kind of worked out maybe the first time he was there, but then he's just been injured. So you can't really, the only thing you can really blame is injuries on him. You can't blame it on Baker. You can blame it on his injury history with the team. I wanted to ask you too, before we move on to our next matchup, where do you think he's going to be landing if he clears? I mean, obviously if he clears waivers at all, because right now Detroit has the number 1 priority on the waiver list. So do you think any of those teams, maybe the first 5, could make a claim? And what would be the best fit for him if he gets claimed at all?
I honestly think, given what he said too, how he wants to go to a team that's already a playoff contender, I think New England.
If you say Tampa, yes. I'll just mute you.
No.
Okay,
I can see New England being a great fit because it kind of reminds me, and like you said, Odell Beckham Jr. isn't going to come in and be your wide receiver 1 anymore, but he is that guy where if you need him in a big play, he's consistent and he's reliable and he's there. So I think getting him into New England, which is an offense that's figuring themselves out and doing fine as is, if you add in that extra piece and get him in there with Mac Jones, I think that's what they could need to become that guaranteed playoff team. So I think that would be the perfect fit for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
It almost reminds me of the Randy Moss situation because when he was at the Raiders, it wasn't working out of the Raiders, and all of a sudden he went over to New England, and bam, he had that historic season with Tom Brady. I mean, you can get 10 targets from Odell if you go over to New England because if he goes, I don't see him going anywhere else would be a good fit. Like if you put him Detroit's just a dumpster fire right now. If you put him there, he's going to be even more unhappy going to Detroit, and I don't think Detroit's that stupid to claim him off waivers as the number 1 priority. Like I love and hate Bucks Twitter because everybody on Bucks Twitter is just like, "Oh, we should go get OBJ." No, we do not. We do
Trust
not
me,
need
it's
it.
the same on Giants Twitter. I want to
Okay.
throw myself off a building.
Oh,
They
God.
want
I'm
him
like,
back.
why would you want him back?
Right? Why would you?
No,
That's-
Eagles Twitter really wants him too. Everyone's like, oh, I wake up every morning and it's like manifesting OBJ. I'm like,
No.
why? Jalen Hurts still isn't going to get on the ball. It's not going to matter.
Yeah.
I looked at the teams that could be. I would say Miami, but if you put him down in Miami, that's just a bad situation.
I know that OBJ or I don't know if he himself said it, but I saw the report come out that said that if he goes to a team that isn't in playoff contention, he's going to make a stink. And that is where the drama queen part of him comes out. Like, you go to a team, you get picked up, and you're going to make it a stink if they don't make it to the playoffs. Like, come on.
Which you should be thankful somebody does claim you on the waivers.
Exactly.
Because right now your contract is $7.5 million left on it. That's a lot of money for a 29-year-old wide receiver who hasn't had a great season in how many? 4 or 5, maybe 3, 4
and
years.
injuries.
It's been a while.
Yeah, and injury prone too. So I like the New England thing. I think if he goes there, Belichick will keep him in check, no pun intended, and he could maybe have some success because I think with Mac Jones there, and Jordan, I agree with you. They're still trying to figure out that offense. He would maybe be a good fit because he could bring, some experience there with the young guys and the young core that they have. So, all right, let's move on to our next matchup: the Broncos versus the Cowboys. This is just a dirty, ugly matchup. The Broncos don't have a chance against the Cowboys.
No.
But
I saw a headline today that was like, "Is Dak going to be rusty after 3 weeks and not play?" I was like, "Shut up,
rusty."
Literally, shut up.
He's going to be rested. He's going to be like, "Okay,
yeah." I was
what a
like,
great
this
matchup
is gonna be
for
a
me."
Slaughter, like
He's
an
so
actual
ready.
slaughter.
And the fact that Von Miller is gone.
Yes,
like, come on.
Which makes Dak's day even better without Von even being there.
Yeah,
so he's just kind of like licking at the chops about making their secondary Swiss cheese right now. So, what are your thoughts on Zeke? I mean, Zeke hasn't really been, an RB1, this season. He's kind of been pushed to the wayside. They've been more of a passing team this year in the Cowboys. Do you see Zeke maybe having a great game today against Denver's front seven?
This would be a good day to have a good game. And I think this goes back to kind of what Sam was saying. Dallas figured out they have so many offensive weapons. They figured out how to share the ball, and they figured out when to utilize who they need to in key moments to move it. And this offense has been lethal, but once you can't just like disperse it and just hope for something great to happen. Like, they're playing smart football now, and it helps that their defense is stepping up as well. I think that's the real key here, but I think there's an opportunity for him to have a day. It's pretty easy to run over the Broncos right now, but I think they just have to keep doing what they've been doing the last couple of weeks, and that's kind of sharing it with everybody and making it work.
Does this have the potential of being a shootout, Sam? Because I look at this because the Saints have the 29th. They're tied for 29th in pass defense right now. I believe Jerry Jeudy might be back today. Could Teddy Bridgewater have a decent game where he throws over 200 yards?
He could. I think that the thing with the Cowboys though is that somehow in like the quickest turnaround, their defense has gotten so good. And it's like, it's really incredible. I don't know. Is Trayvon Diggs playing? I know that he had an injury.
I believe he is playing today.
Okay.
Yes.
So I mean, even just him being out there on the field, like, yes, Teddy could throw for maybe 200 yards or over 200 yards, but I really think that the Dallas defense is going to show up, especially because of how much of a decline the Broncos have been on recently.
All right, so we're going to do a clean sweep with this one. I've got the pains me to say it. I got the Cowboys too.
I know. I keep hyping up the Cowboys right now, talking about how great they are. I'm like,
blasphemy.
It's painful.
Like every time I say Cowboy, I have like that little in my throat where I just want to throw up.
Oh yeah.
All right, this game is, the Texans.
Tua is not playing.
Breaking news, Tua is out with a fractured middle finger. Jacoby Brissett will be starting in place of him. Tyrod Taylor is back and will be starting today for the Texans. This could have been the Deshaun Watson versus going against his former team, but that never happened with the trade deadline. This game is A trash game, another trash game for
Yeah.
today. You can flip a coin on this one. I'm actually going Houston on this one. I think with Tyrod being back, they did win their only game with Tyrod under center. Who do you guys got in the Texans versus the Dolphins today?
I originally had the Dolphins, but now that I know Tua's not playing, I feel like with Tyrod being back, like you said, Evan, like I could see the Texans taking advantage of that and coming out and winning this game. And we know the Texans have not been great, but I think, to be fair, Davis Mills also hasn't been the greatest quarterback for them. So screw it. I'll go Texans.
Yeah, I think I have to too, because we saw Jacoby Brissett with Tua. The Dolphins are like bad right now, but with Jacoby Brissett, they're like god awful.
Yeah.
So, and we saw what Tyrod Taylor could do with the Texans while he was healthy. So I'm literally switching it right now. I had Dolphins picked.
Same.
I just had to switch my pick too as well. I saw that this morning. I'm like, huh, interesting. And I had Tua starting in my fantasy league just as a streamer, and I was like, oh well, I can't do that anymore. I have to pick somebody else. All right, our next game is the NFC South matchup between the Falcons and the Saints. Saints are going to be starting Trevor Siemian. Taysom Hill is back and is suited up for today. He'll probably be in there with some kind of limited capacity, probably in some kind of wildcat formations. This is an interesting game. Siemian hasn't started in a long time. He's making his first start in a couple of years, I believe. Falcons, they're going to be without Calvin Ridley for actually, that's kind of up in the air right now. We don't know how long he's going to be out with some personal reasons. Who do we got in this NFC South matchup? I should be picking the Falcons because the Saints are 5 and 2.5 game behind the Bucs. So, I'm not that stupid. I'm picking the Saints anyways. Who do we got in this matchup for the Saints and the Falcons?
I'm going to go with the Saints too. I am going to go with the Saints too. I have a feeling, Trevor Siemian may be the third string, but he did start in the league at some point. Like, this isn't something that is new to him. And he was able to beat Tom Brady last week. Like, I think that has kind of gotten him like up on his high horse a little bit. Taysom is back, because in case that we, not sure what to do, throw Taysom in the mix. Why not? I don't know. I have a feeling that the Saints are going to win this game.
I think so as well. I think this is going to be very close.
Yeah.
And by close, I don't think it's going to be like a good game by any stretch of the imagination. I think it's going to be low scoring and just kind of a shootout in the end to whoever can finish it off. But, I still think the Saints are coming out on top here.
Jordan and Sam, for fantasy purposes, since Calvin Ridley is going to be out for who knows when, the value of Kyle Pitts.
Oh, skyrocket.
Mm-hmm.
To the moon.
Okay. Would you take a chance on Russell Gage possibly filling in for Calvin Ridley at all?
I maybe in a flex position. I don't think I would have him as your number 1 or number 2 guy. But I think if you're desperate in a flex, he's definitely going to start getting more touches. Like Calvin Ridley, I don't think they realize how big of a hole that's going to leave. So,
huge.
Yeah.
Now, hear me out. Let me dial it back to the OBJ thing.
Okay.
OBJ to Atlanta.
I don't hate it.
I know. That actually kind of like makes a lot of sense. And I feel like he could fit there.
He could fill in that role.
With maybe if it grows with him and Matt Ryan eventually leaves, they get a new quarterback, like developing a new team. That could be very interesting.
I think getting Matt Ryan as much help as he can get is the best chance that they have. I don't think Matt Ryan is a great quarterback.
Why does everybody hate on Matty Ice so much?
I don't think he's that bad.
He's not that bad,
but he's not great.
He's not that bad.
He's not that. He could be a lot better.
He could have been great if he left the Falcons at some point in his career.
This is true.
I agree.
I mean, we're literally seeing what Matt Stafford is doing is what Matt Ryan should have done.
Yeah.
I totally agree on that. Okay, so we're all Saints across the board on that one. All right. Raiders going against your Giants, Sam. I'm gonna have you front and center on this matchup. Tell me about this matchup between the Saints and the Raiders.
I am actually very excited about this game. I think that coming off of the Monday night game against the Chiefs with the way the Giants played, I think was such an improvement. I know we lost, but going up against the Chiefs, I think was really, really great for the Giants. I know we lost, but I was just kind of happy. So I know that the Raiders have a tough defense, but I know their run game is a little vulnerable. Their run defense is a little vulnerable. Devontae Booker has really stepped it up for us with Saquon being out, and he had a great game against the Chiefs. I don't see why we don't just run the ball, score points, and just make it happen for us. I'm honestly going with the Giants in this game because I think that this is the time to do it, and we can do it. I don't know what this confidence in me is, but I have a feeling that we can win this game.
You're very hyped up about this.
I'm very
Yeah.
excited.
With all the drama surrounding the Raiders, you're very hyped up about this.
And
This
the
could
fact
be-
that like I know they're still a good team, but Henry Ruggs was a huge part of their offense. And not only is it sad that he's gone, but like they're also might be just kind of in a weird space as a team, like yes, he did something bad, but they were his friend and his teammate. They want to be there for him. And, it's a very complicated situation. So that might be, I don't want to say a distraction, but it could be something that's on their minds. They might not play as well. There's a lot of factors here.
It's a very terrible situation about what that is on both sides, especially for the victims that happened in that
Absolutely.
that
Yeah.
crash. I applaud Derek Carr for what he said
Yes,
this
I was
past
going to say
week.
that.
For hey, he's going to need a lot of love, and I'm going to be there for my teammate.
Yeah.
Now, it is a terrible situation on both sides. I mean, both lives are changed. One is lost. One is he's probably never going to see a football field ever again. So yeah, it's a terrible situation. But I actually got the Raiders. The Raiders have really kind of look. They step up when there's times of adversity and times of loss. So I've got the Raiders in this one. Sorry, Sam, I've got to go.
That's okay. I understand.
I
Jordan.
would love if the Giants win. Like, I would love everything about that. But I picked against the Raiders the week they lost John Gruden because I was like, oh, this is going to be a lot. You lose your head coach. And then they just came out and completely rallied. And now you have everything that they're dealing with again. And for some reason, the Raiders, I feel like it brings like a sense of like camaraderie. And I feel like
That's
they
fair.
use it to like come together. And like, especially when you have Derek Carr, who's the way he handles every situation, like I feel like he steps in and just becomes that leader and kind of gets them all on board. So I am going to go with them, but if the Giants win, I would be very happy for you and for them.
Wow, thanks, Jordan.
You're welcome.
Aw,
She's so supportive of me.
that's so nice. That's so nice.
I also just want to say, I mean, yes, the West Coast team, they're playing on the East Coast. Daylight savings just happened. I don't know where everybody's sleep schedule's at. Maybe
I woke
I
up
was so confused this morning.
I woke up this morning and it was like bright out. I'm like, wait, how late did I sleep in?
Yeah.
And I looked at my watch. I'm like, oh, it's 7:30. Oh yeah, daylight savings time.
Yeah.
I looked at my phone and it said 8:30, and then I went in my kitchen. My kitchen said 9:30, and I was like, where am I? Like,
daylight savings time.
Yeah.
A useless thing we don't really
Abolish
need.
it. We don't need it anymore.
Damn you, farmers of America. Damn you.
I
Damn you.
kind
All
of
right.
like it. It's exciting.
No. No.
It gets so dark. It's gonna be dark at like 4 p.m.
It
tonight.
gives me like a thrill. Like, oh my God, we gained
Oh
an
my God,
hour.
Jordan.
No, I hate waking up in the morning and it's bright and it's like 7:00. Like, no, I hate that. It's the dumbest thing ever invented. You know what? I'll probably get kicked off for saying that now since I got kicked off of Facebook for some reason.
Banned
our
from
next-
everywhere else for hating daylight savings time.
I know, right? All right, next matchup, the New England Patriots are going to face the Carolina Panthers. Christian McCaffrey is activated and will be playing. We don't know how much. He could be a limited capacity today, or he could be going full steam ahead. Stephon Gilmore is going against his former team. What do we got in the New England Patriots against the Carolina Panthers? And Sam Darnold is going to be starting today as well for the Panthers.
I think this is a very easy win for the Patriots today. Everything I've seen, the Patriots just consistently keep getting better and better, and the Panthers keep getting worse and worse, and getting McCaffrey back definitely is going to help them. But until he's 100%, like, this team runs when they put their soul, like, they put everything on Christian McCaffrey's back. And when they can rely on him throughout the entire thing, that's when they win games. Until they get to that point again, I don't think they're going to be able to win. And I think it would be stupid for them to put it all on him his first day back, because then you're just going to lose him again. So I say you take it easy on him, and the Patriots are going to get a win.
Sam,
agree.
what do you think has happened to Sam Darnold? Because he came out, the Panthers are 3-0, then all of a sudden it's been this like downward spiral of the Sam Darnold we saw back in New York. Is it just a case of, hey, I'm Sam Darnold. I hit rough spots, or hey, I'm Sam Darnold and I fooled everybody for the first 3 games, and this is how I am.
I have a feeling that Christian McCaffrey was making Sam Darnold look really, really great. And he was performing well earlier this season. I mean, he was the lead rusher of touchdowns for like a few weeks there. But I think that with Christian McCaffrey leaving, the offense got shifted. Maybe he was like, it was a little bit of a safety net for him that when he didn't know what to do, he just handed the ball off. So I don't think Sam Darnold is a bad quarterback. I kind of want to believe he's not a bad quarterback as
I
well.
know. I keep telling myself, I'm like, no, he's
keep
going to be
telling
great. He's
myself.
going to be so good.
I
that
believe
he's
in
good.
you, Sam. Sam, please do well, Sam. Oh
If
God, you're
he,
just so bad.
I know we like share a namesake, you know, like I want him to do well, but I think that I'm interested to see that when Christian comes back and like is like really back in the game, if they start doing really, really well again, then it's like it was never Sam. It was always CMC. You know what I mean? I want to believe he's good, but maybe he had a little bit of a safety net with the run game.
Do you think he'll have a decent game today against the Pats?
I might have a okay game.
That is
I don't
probably
think it'll be enough to win.
That is the most that was really not believable at all. Just say he's gonna have a bad game. That was just so there was no confidence in that statement.
I just
whatsoever.
really think the Patriots are just going to walk all over. The way that the Giants were able to do it, the Patriots are definitely going to be able to do it.
Jordan, Mac Jones is going to be throwing into a defense that now has an ex-Patriots, Stephon Gilmore. Do you think Stephon Gilmore is going to have 2 or more interceptions today?
Oh, I would love to. Definitely 2. I'd lock in 2 right now. He's going to have a day.
A day or a day?
A day.
A
Like,
day. Okay.
Like it's going to be scary.
Okay. All right. So we got
I can do voice impersonations too.
Oh, hey, use them. I don't care.
Thanks. No, I really can't. That was totally a joke.
Okay. All right. Our next matchup is. We don't even need to talk about this one. No, Bills. All right, there we go.
Sam's already wearing her Bills t-shirt.
I'm wearing my Bills shirt today, so that should just go to show.
The Jags are going to be without their main offensive weapon, James Robinson. He is out today too, so it's just
Like we really don't even have to play this game. Like just give the Bills.
I think just hand it to Josh Allen on a silver platter. Just be like, here you go, buddy. Congrats.
Yeah. All right, let's move on because nobody's going to watch that trash game. All right, the Vikings and the Ravens. I like this matchup. I really do. It's a tasty matchup for Kirk Cousins because the Ravens' pass defense is really bad. But the Ravens, I mean, now they've got Rashad Bateman back. He's going to be fully activated today in the offense. I like this. This could be a potential shootout between these two teams. Who do we got in the Vikings and the Ravens today?
The Vikings are one of the teams that annoy me more than any other. And like, I like them. Like, I like Kirk Cousins. I like rooting for them. They just
Kirk Cousins. Okay.
They just drive me nuts. Like, because sometimes they're great and sometimes they're garbage and you have no idea what you're going to get. It does seem like, though, they know how to step up as long as it's not prime time. They know how to step up going against opponents that they need to step up for. I'm still going to take the Ravens here, but I have a feeling that because I'm doing that, the Vikings will win because I can never predict them correctly ever.
The Ravens are coming off a bye week here. They're well rested. They're ready to go. They're at home. I really don't see the Vikings being able to win this game. I'm going with the Ravens.
All right,
I want
I'll go with
to win.
The Ravens as well. Our next matchup, Jordan, I'm going to put you front and center. Chargers versus the Eagles. And this could be a complicated situation for you because you are a huge Justin Herbert fan.
I don't know which jersey to wear today. I have my Justin Herbert one. I don't know if we can see it.
You could stitch one together with like Chargers and Eagles together. You could do something like that.
You could.
I could. I might wear my All I Want for Christmas is Justin Herbert's sweatshirt under my Devontae Smith jersey.
That's good.
We'll see. I think this is going to be a very interesting game. The Eagles are driving me up a freaking wall right now because it's like I give up on them and then they do what they did last week and they come in and they didn't just beat the Lions, they demolished the Lions. So I don't really know what to expect from them today, especially because the Chargers are also in this state of complete uncertainty. If you asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said no brainer. The Chargers are coming in and blowing us out of the water. Now the Chargers haven't looked like themselves. They got blown out. Then they lost. They had their bye week, came off their bye week, lost to the Patriots, who blew them out last season. And you have the Eagles, who are coming off a dominating victory. So I don't know. We're at home. I'm going to place my pick and pick the Chargers just because every time I've done that, the Eagles have come back and won. So I will happily take the loss here if the Eagles get the win. Like the Panthers, I took the Panthers and the Eagles came out. Like every time I go against them when they could win, they do it. So that's my logic today. I'm taking the Chargers to hopefully sneakily backdoor myself and get the Eagles a win.
Miles Sanders is out today. For fantasy purposes, Jordan, Boston Scott or Jordan Howard, who gets more touches today?
I would say Boston Scott. I just think he's someone they use more consistently. Jordan Howard, though, is really good. They use him on the goal line. So he could get 1 or 2 touchdowns easily today. So I'm still going to go with Boston Scott, though. I actually picked him up in waivers and threw him in my lineup for today. So that's also biased in me hoping that he just pops off. But I like the consistency more with Boston Scott. You'll get him throughout the whole field, and then he also gets touchdowns too.
Sam, who do you got? The Chargers and Eagles today?
I'm going to go with the Chargers, mostly because it's so hard for me to go with the Eagles, even though Jordan so lovely told me she'd be so happy if the Giants won today. But the Chargers, I think, have been on such a rut lately. Like, they have been going into these games. I mean, they almost won against the Patriots last week, and it was an unfortunate loss for them. I think Justin Herbert is going to make it a point that he's not going to have like a 3-game losing streak. And he is just going to put it all out on the field, make sure that they win this game. It's hard to play in Philly. I feel like it's a hard place to play, but he's going to do his best. And the Eagles, yes, they just came off of a big win against the Lions, but it was the Lions. Maybe he got a little bit of a big ego. They're excited to be at home, play against the Chargers, maybe gets a win. I don't know. Maybe they let their guard down a little bit. So I'm going with the Chargers.
I need the Chargers. I need a big day from Justin Herbert today. I need a huge, 3-4 touchdowns today against the Eagles. Sorry.
The over is set right now at only 49. And I think that's criminal.
I take the over on that.
100%. I think it's going to be a very high scoring day.
Which I'm excited too, because now Florida has sports betting.
Oh, I can't. There you go.
Yeah. Nice.
Seminole Hard Rock put their sports book out this past week, so I'll be doing some parlays today, see if I can win some money.
Beautiful.
So, nice. I can't wait. I'll probably lose money, but it's okay.
I forget that everyone can't just do it.
No.
Because it feels so normal here.
It was like, oh, I looked at it, I'm like, wow, how much money am I going to burn in my bank account for the next couple of months for football? So, all right. Our next matchup, the Packers and the Chiefs. Packers are going to be without Aaron Rodgers, as we talked about before. Aaron's going to be on the COVID restriction list for about 10 days. Jordan Love will make his first official start as the Packers quarterback. Will it be enough to beat the Chiefs, which the Chiefs have been something but of a conundrum this season? Who do we got in the Packers versus the Chiefs today?
I'm still taking the Packers.
Yeah. I'm going with the Packers because of how bad the Chiefs have looked. And the fact that they looked that way again against the New York Giants. Even though Aaron Rodgers is not playing, Jordan Love has been on the team for a year and a half now, 2 years. So he's gotten accustomed to this offense and he has amazing receivers to throw to. I just don't see the Chiefs being able to win. And that you can make the argument that they're in Arrowhead, but they were in Arrowhead last week too. Didn't really, barely made a difference for them. So yeah, I'm going with the Packers.
Yeah, I've been trying to make the argument every week, yeah, but it's the Chiefs. It's the Chiefs. We can't let our guard down.
Though.
Now it's week 9. And I'm no, your true colors are fully showing. And it's not just Patrick Mahomes. It's the whole team is just completely not there. And nobody looks like themselves. And everyone's making stupid mistakes consistently. So yeah, Sam, what you said too about Jordan Love, we haven't seen him play a whole lot, but he knows this team very well. This is not someone who's just gotten thrown into the system. And from what we've heard, I don't think the Packers would have taken him if they didn't believe that he was a great quarterback, and you have him learning from Aaron Rodgers. And I'm really not worried for the Packers at all. I think obviously they might not come out and have this beautiful high scoring game like they normally would with Aaron Rodgers, but I think they absolutely have whatever it takes to get the win here.
All right. I'm torn about this game. I really am, because the Chiefs have been so up and down and really kind of like in a downward spiral. But I can't go against Patrick Mahomes. I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes and you're going against the Packers
You're
defense.
stuck in the trap.
I know. And that's my problem too, because I could look at it and go, okay, well, this could be like Jordan Love's coming out party where he just does amazing against the Chiefs, and then everybody now has a huge story to talk about on Monday. Oh my God, now there's a quarterback controversy in Green Bay, and it's like, we got to hear more about this and Aaron Rodgers and stuff.
Right.
Man, my gut says pick the Packers, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs on this one.
Wow.
I think, I can't go. I'll be in the trap. Because I can't go against.
We'll see.
Maybe
Maybe you'll be the key to get everybody out of it.
Maybe. We'll see. All right, the Cardinals are going against the 49ers. This could have been a good matchup, but now Kyler Murray is out. DeAndre Hopkins, I believe, is also out for today. Colt McCoy is going to be starting in place of Kyler Murray. Can Colt McCoy guide the Cardinals to a win against the 49ers today?
This is
From
so
that silence,
hard
that
for
means
me.
no.
This is so hard for me. I have the Cardinals still picked.
Me too.
I don't have it in my heart of hearts to change it, but I'm not going to change it. I can't. I'm taking the Cardinals.
If you don't change it, Jordan, I won't change it either. I'll go with the Cardinals as well.
I can't bet against the Cardinals. And I was so excited for this matchup, but especially, but the 49ers got George Kittle back too. Like,
yes, but George Kittle will not be playing the entire game. He is on a pitch count.
Okay, fine.
And Deebo Samuel is questionable. He is going to be a game time decision for the 49ers too, so he might be out for the 49ers. Deebo Samuel might. So this could be a really
are going to rally.
Listen,
they're going to do it for Kyler.
Do it
for D-Hop.
Listen, Colt McCoy is not. He's a capable backup. He's a capable
Colt
backup.
McCoy came in for the New York Giants last year and beat the Seattle Seahawks. So
there you go.
This is a huge divisional matchup. Done. Cardinals.
Cardinals it is.
All right, Cardinals clean sweep for everybody here because I got the Cardinals too. All right.
Yay.
This could have been the matchup. I spelled Titans wrong on the ticker. Jeez, I can't even type.
The T-Ans.
Yeah, T-Ans. Yeah, there we go.
Is your keyboard working?
No, I had to go to my other keyboard on my Mac. There we go.
Oh, okay.
This could have been like a matchup, but now Derrick Henry is out for the rest of the season. Well, we don't technically know if he's out for the rest of the season. He
Probably
could be out
for the rest of the regular season.
Yeah,
regular season. Could be back for playoffs if the Titans hold on and make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, who do we got in this matchup? The Rams now have an extra addition to their defense. Von Miller is now on the Rams defense, which even makes it even more of a scarier defense. The Titans will probably be passing more now since Derrick Henry is out. So if you got A.J. Brown, fire him up. He's going to get a lot of receptions today. Who do we got with the Titans and the Rams this afternoon?
I was 100% taking the Rams no matter what in this matchup. And then without Derrick Henry, that just 100% puts an underline and an exclamation mark behind that.
I mean, with him out, it totally changed the dynamic of this team.
I don't think it's necessarily over for them, but I think it's going to take them some time to figure it out.
Yeah,
I agree with you on that one too, because I mean, obviously that offense was centered around Derrick Henry, and now that he is gone, you have to basically retool your whole offense. We can't be a run-heavy team. We have to mix it up a little bit. We've got to spread the ball around, because if you're going to rely on Jeremy McNichols, it's not and Adrian Peterson, which you signed on the practice squad. Which, listen, guys, whoever picked up Adrian Peterson on waivers for fantasy, he's not Adrian Peterson of a long time ago. This is old Adrian Peterson.
Yes.
Like, he's not going to be that guy. So you wasted a waiver pickup on him. You're going to be more of a passing team now for the Titans. Could this be a close game, or could the Titans surprise everybody and make this a close game? Could they maybe pull out a win, Sam?
You could argue that before the trade deadline, but not with Von Miller on this defense. Not with Aaron Donald, Von Miller, and Jalen Ramsey on this defense. It's just not. I can't see it happening. This defense is so terrifying to think about. It's I would be terrified if I was Ryan Tannehill right now.
It
And
literally sounds like a Madden create your own like,
Yes!
dream team.
yes,
Like,
literally.
it's not real. They're like, oh, we only have 3 draft picks next year. That's fine. We literally don't need them. Like,
The
No,
Rams are doing what the Bucks did last year. Is the Bucks loaded up on offense to make it a fantasy football roster, and now the Rams are doing this on defense now.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, so I think that the Titans, like you guys said, need a little bit of time to rework their offense without Derrick Henry. The Rams are at home.
Yeah.
They got Von Miller in the mix here. I don't see the Titans making this happen.
I have also got the Rams too as well. Awesome. All right, before we wrap it up, any last news and notes before we get on out of here?
Do we think that Phillip Rivers is going to come out of retirement to join the Saints?
God, I hope so.
What?
God, I hope so.
What? I didn't hear a word you said. My Wi-Fi cut out again. So
No,
what do
it's
you guys
okay. I said, do you think Phillip Rivers is coming out of retirement to join the Saints?
Is that like the hot take of the week?
That's like a
I-
rumor.
He said he would.
No.
It's circulating.
No.
It's
I would have
circulating.
said I think I said that at the beginning of the year. He might come out of retirement to join the Colts because of Carson. What? That's a
Oh,
rumor.
yeah,
for
no,
him?
He said he was like, if the Saints need somebody, let me know.
What?
I
Yeah.
want it so bad.
Sure, you
I
got
love
18 kids
Phillip
at home.
Rivers.
Yeah, I'm sure
Enjoy
he's probably
retirement.
no. I'm sure he's going out of. Well, wasn't he coaching high school football?
Yeah.
And
Like,
he
Yeah.
would you
was
abandon them?
dominating at high school football.
Yeah,
Like he was
wow.
like 50-0 or some crazy thing. Like he was doing so good.
He's just, you know what? He's probably just bored. He's like, you know what? I've got all these damn kids. I need to get out of the house for a little bit longer
He's got
for
nothing
another.
to do.
Jeez. All right. Well, thanks for everybody for joining us in the comments for another edition of the Fantasy Underdogs podcast, brought to you by the Believe Podcast Network and also betonline.ag. Make sure to smash and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the FU Dogs Pod and also on YouTube and Twitch. We will see you guys tomorrow for our Monday recap show. For myself, Sporty Jordy, and Sam, we will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great week 9. We're out. Peace.
Bye.
Thank you.